Hello, thanks for joining me for another review. I'm looking forward to this one. So it's from the Kernel Brewery. I've got a lot of reviews coming up from these guys, and as you can see, this is their Export India Porter. This one is coming in at 6.2% ABV. Plain Jane brown, legendary kind of wrap on this one. So 6.2 version. Incidentally, there is a generic thing on Untapped Export India Porter from this brewery, but they've got multiple different variants of this beer as regard hop build and stuff like that. This one is got hops of Centennial and Simcoe, and yeah, the ingredients: water, hops, sugar, yeast and barley. So these guys are out of Bermondsey in London, of course. They've now got a tap room again, so yeah, excellent stuff. So bottled on the 5th of March of 2020, which was funnily enough, I'd just done a bit of research. This was the actual evening of the 5th of March that we had a tap takeover at the Ravensgate Arms in Ramsgate, which is, what's the chances of that? So yeah, the very day this beer was bottled, I was that evening at a tap takeover and beer tasting from the Kernel Brewery in my hometown. Weird. Other information here. Best before the 5th. Yes, yeah, the 5th of March 2021. So a whole year's shelf life on this one. 330ml bottle. Silver bottle cap, usual. Let's crack it open then. I have had this beer before, but I don't know what hop varietals were in that. I will have a look actually. I'm a little bit curious, so we'll let that load. So this beer was purchased at the Little Swift home delivery service in Margate. It's a bit of a fuzzy glass because I've just had water in it after having a beer before. So yeah, interesting beer. We get all this in as it's a 330. There we go. Yeah, there's quite a bit of sediment in the bottom there. Didn't really go crazy with it. So, beer in a glass, it's looking jet black, and it is jet black. Absolutely, there's no light bleeding through around the edges or nothing, it's jet black. It's half a finger of, yeah, a light tanned head, if you like, creamy. Creamy coffee like, tightly packed bubbles, the usual 9 yards of quality on appearance from these guys, especially their darker beers. They do look the part. So yeah, 6.2, classed as an English porter according to Untapped, but yeah, so this is going to be a hoppy porter. Like you can get some hoppy stouts or you know, but considering it's a porter, it's very dark. Anyway, that aside, let's get an aroma then. Oh, wow. There's no commercial description, that incidentally, on the actual generic version of Untapped on this, or the actual version that I've got on there as well. We're going to do 3 different ratings on this one. My own, the generic on Untapped, and the individual hop varietal. So we'll get into that after. But yeah, it's looking creamy. It's got a very, it's a subtle roasted malt build almost to it. Slightly sweet. Getting a little bit of that hop roastedness, not hop roast, you know what I'm saying, not roasted hops, but roasted malt, and there is a slight kind of citrus type kind of underlying edge underneath that roasted malt from the hops. There's a little bit kind of a little bit leathery, a little bit brisket. There is a little bit of a kind of a meat, burnt meat edge to it. A slight sweetness as well. Let's get into this one. It smells lush. Cheers. There's no ruby edges at all to this one. Perhaps there is. When I tilt the glass and look into, like, there's a faintest margin of a ruby kind of hue, but it's very small. It doesn't go too far down from the actual top of the head of the beer. It's retaining it very well, of course. Look at that. Just clings to the glass. It's just all the hallmarks of a quality beer, which you kind of knew it would be, but yeah, sweet roasty toasty on the aroma. Let's get into the taste a bit more. Very smooth, clean mouthfeel. Milk chocolate, but not crazy sweet. Like a roasted coffee note. This is superb. This is absolutely superb. I mean, it's not crazy bitter on that kind of roasted malts, like, or coffee kind of thing. It's not crazy. It's just all very well rounded. It's just so drinkable. I mean, I'm drinking it like, oh, you know, I want another one of these. You know, it's just one of them beers. Just so damn good, man. Oh, that's lush. It's great. I mean, I actually had this. I'm just checking now. I had this beer on the day this bottle was actually. Sorry, the beer was put in the bottle, which is really weird. I had this on draft the same day that it was bottled. Coincidences. Just happens to be, you know, that date. So I'm reviewing this on the 24th of April. So, but yeah, this is weird. So I actually put in my commercial description of when I had this beer at the Ravensgate, I said the look is dark ruby edges, aroma sweet roasty toasty malts, taste smooth mouthfeel, clean crisp milk chocolate roasted coffee, malts light bitter end. And it's pretty much word for word what I've just getting out of this. But I actually think, as a rating wise, this is better in a bottle than it is on draft for me. This is fantastic in a bottle. I actually gave this beer a 7.5 out of 10, 3.75 on the Untapped scale. Although it could have been a different. Let's have a look. Was it a different hop varietal? Because I take photographs of everything. Brown ale. This is an export India Porter. Didn't actually give the hop varietals on that night, so it's probably not the same hop build as it was on draft back on the 5th at the Ravensgate. But yeah, I'm giving this beer it's just fantastic. I'm giving this a 9 out of 10. It's a 9 out of 10 beer all day long. 7.5 out of 5 for the Kernel East India Porter, and I'll turn it around so you can see the actual back of that. So yeah, Centennial and Simcoe hops in this one, and then it gives you all the is it that way or that way? I think it's that way, isn't it? Yeah. So there's all the information there, canned or bottled on. Get it canned right, get it said right. Yeah, I've had a beer tonight, so yeah, and all that sort of stuff. I love that about Kernel. That, you know, they've always done that. They've always put a bottled on date and a best before date, and since I was into craft beer like 10 years ago when I first started. So right, let's get on to the actual, so the overall ratings on this beer, and it's had just over 17,000 total check-ins of this general beer, 118 in the last 30 days. It's had 12,831 ratings overall, and it's coming in at 3.83. Pretty low, but then there's lots of different varietals in that. This actual one, the Centennial and Simcoe version, which is a variant, because people put on there untapped for another check-in, I guess. So it's only had 82 total check-ins, this one, which is pretty low. I mean, the 5th of March, not many. 10 in the last 30 days. 71 ratings. I think most people put it onto the generic. 71 ratings, then coming at 3.99, which is a 4, an 8 out of 10. Yeah, I'm giving this a 9, a 4.5 out of 5. So awesome stuff. Purchase that Little Swift home delivery service, as I've said. So do check them out if you're local in the Thanet area. Down below as well, there'll be a bit of information about the Kernel Brewery, because they're awesome, and I've got a lot more reviews coming up probably over the summer, because a lot of them are going to be saisons and that sort of thing. I'm just going to let them sit for a few weeks or so. But yeah, this is awesome. So if you can get this beer, if you're in London, in the London area, I think Vertigo Beers do home delivery service in London, I believe. So check out Vertigo Beers as well if you're in the London area. Elsewhere, can't help you. Just Google stuff. But if you're in a Thanet area, Little Swift is the one to go at the moment. Thanks for watching then. Bit of a longer review, sorry about that. Hope you're all keeping safe, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.